This is Unit 3. I'll be talking about normal operating systems, emergency operating systems and staff training in a leisure centre as a sports coach. First of all, scenarios. NOP is a normal operating procedure. Coach running a futsal session in sports hall. EOP is emergency operating procedure. You're coaching a session of futsal to a young bunch of kids and then a fire breaks out. ST, which is staff training. What would be the staff procedure for a new apprentice? NOP, I take a register to count how many kids I've got. EOP, a fire breaks out and I get all the kids out and then check them off the register I did earlier to make sure I have them all. ST, this is where a new apprentice will be taught what to do in a situation occurred like this, such as a fire. Normal operating procedures. Checking the area which the sporting activity occurs during my activity. This is in place that no accidents happen to the people under my care. The leisure centre and that everybody that enters the area I'm training in is safe. Yes, these are important because if you were not to clean up and there will still be rubbish and sharp objects on the floor, there is a risk of people getting injured from the staff not following the normal operating procedures correctly. For example, if staff were to be using a mop for the toilet, they could not also use the same mop for the hallway because this can carry disease as well as mess. So down to this procedure, there are different coloured mops for different coloured areas so that disease is not carried and is a safe environment. The colour codes: red for the toilets, blue for the general areas, green for kitchen, yellow for blood, sick and etc. NOP is a normal operating procedure. The Health and Safety Work Act of 1974. This is used in normal operating procedures as myself as a member of staff at the leisure centre and my colleagues has to follow the guidelines put in by the Health and Safety Work Act, which then enforces if I do not allow these guidelines then serious accidents could happen. I'm not doing my job properly. Linking to this, for EOP, emergency operating procedures, if these guidelines that are put in place by the Health and Safety Work Act are not followed, then this could lead to an EOP. For example, a fire could break out and the cause of this is you not following the guidelines in place. Means firstly you're responsible for any damage as well as liable for any deaths that might be a result of the fire as you did not follow the act in the first place. This is where staff training is put in place. As in staff training you are learnt to follow the work act so that you are doing your job properly and avoiding any EOP. COSH. This is to do with the swimming pool. This is used when considering the normal operating procedures as well as the chemicals in the pool keep the water sterile. After they have finished with the products, they need to be put somewhere where, well, if the products are not put away properly or put in a cupboard which is locked, then the public can access this, is where it can lead to EOP, emergency operating procedures. As this accidents happen can lead to members of the public getting injured, which then leads into staff training, as they will be trained to make sure chemicals that are used are locked up after putting them in the pool, and make sure that they are in a secure cupboard that the public cannot access to stop an emergency operating procedure being taken if the chemicals are not locked up properly. RIDA. This is where if any incidents, dangerous concerns or occurrences are reported to your superior so that it reduces the amount of risk that could danger the participants of the hall and eliminate any risks that can happen. This is used in NOP, normal operating procedures, because if any accidents happen, you report them straight away so that they can be sorted out straight away. As well as this, the risks that occurred can be dismissed and got rid of down to the RIDA Act being with EOP, as if these incidents are not reported and left, which they can build up and then lead to EOP, which in turn can lead to serious injuries or even death. This is why it is an NOP, so it is reported straight off. In conjunction with this, it also links into staff training and is in staff training you are taught to report any incident and log the incidents when they happen, what time they happen and what date they happen, so that these incidents can be looked at, then barriers can be put in place so these incidents don't happen again. The Health and Safety First Aid Act is in 1981. This is used in NOP as it is a normal operating procedure to be able to administer first aid to an injured member of the public that is using your equipment. If you are not able to administer first aid to an injured member of the public using your equipment, then it can be a potential lead into EOP. As if you don't know what to do and the patient needs first aid desperately, you cannot administer it, or you do it and it makes the problem worse, then you are not fulfilling your duty of care to the participants of your course. As one of your jobs, it is to look after the participants of the course. activity you are running. This then leads on to staff training, as you would be taught on the course, and how to administer first aid in case of any injury. If you didn't know first aid, then your manager would put you on a first aid course so that you learn the basics, and they're not able to administer the first aid to any participant of your course that may pick up an injury. Emergency operating procedures, EOP. Fire procedure. This procedure is in place because if in case any fire happens in a leisure centre, every member of staff should know what to do and keep every member of the leisure centre safe. Yes, these are important due to the fact these alert people to the fire and where it is happening and keeps it controlled in a controlled environment. If you do not have these procedures, then people are unaware of the actions they need to take and keep safe. People can panic as they don't know what to do in this situation. A sporting example of this is if I had a bunch of kids running a futsal session and a fire started out, I would evacuate them and refer back to the register I had taken earlier down to the normal operating procedure. Serious injury. This procedure is in place so that every member of the staff knows what to do if a member of the leisure centre gets seriously injured. First of all, the diagram shows if the fire starts out, everyone would have to evacuate the building. I'd have to refer to the previous register and compare them with the kids that I've got, and if anyone's missing I'd have to report it straight away, and then I'd have to wait for the fire brigade at the located fire point. Staff training. We have staff training so that staff working in the leisure centre know what to do in a certain situation and know what to do professionally. Yes, this is important as the staff in the leisure centre will sometimes be put in awkward situations and they need to know what to do in these situations. If we did not have staff training, then the staff presented with a problem could not deal with it, which emphasises the importance of staff training and why they need it. The centre manager is responsible for the training, and this means he sends the staff away for a day where they train for certain procedures. A sporting example of this is if a fire breaks out in the sports hall and the staff do not know what to do, then either myself or the children under my care can seriously get hurt, which refers back to the high duty of care that I have, as I am not looking after a child responsibly by not knowing what to do in an emergency. This contributes to safety as I carry out my staff training properly. I would not know what to do in certain situations, which prevents me from losing the children under my care or keeping them from getting injured. They are related to the other two, as if I did not carry out the register in the normal operating procedure, then I could not prevent injury to the children under my care in an emergency procedure if it wasn't learnt through staff training, e.g. a fire. This diagram shows where all of the fire alarms are, which are marked in orange. The black boxes represent all the fire exits, and the green boxes represent the first aid boxes.